everything covered. So now, besides guild heirlooms, you're also going to be able to make just normal items that will also be great for the guild. And you'll buy these as plans the same way, but they might not make heirlooms. They might make things like, say, potions or elixirs, things that you can use during raids. And the concept behind these is they're also bound to the guild, so you can only use them if you're in the guild, but there's talents in the talent tree that will benefit this stuff. So there can be talents in the tree that increase the effectiveness of potions that you might, or elixirs that you might drink during a raid. And so you get those benefits by staying in the raid, in the guild. One last thing on the guild currency is you're also going to be able to buy reagents. So for some of these new heirlooms, we want to use some of the new profession items that people are going to be mining and herbs and things that you're going to find out in the world, but we're also going to have reagents that you can buy directly. And that's another way that you can spend that guild currency. So instead of maybe having to use a frost lotus for every pot you make, you might be able to buy a guild reagent and use that instead. All right, looking for guild. This is something that we've wanted to do for a while. We really wanted to find a way for those players that want to get into a guild to have that be easier, but also come up with a great way for guild leaders to be able to find new members that they're looking for. And so the concept of the system is that we're basically going to let you filter based on various requirements of what you're looking for. The interface, we want it to be pretty simple, not complicated, because we want new players to be able to hop into the game, be able to find a guild, and not have too much difficulty. So here's an example of a mock-up of what we would concept for this. So you can pick your availability, weekdays and weekends. You pick your class role, your level. Now, this screen you're seeing right here is what a guild would see when they're recruiting for members. So they can say they're only looking for max level. They can say the type of play style they want, casuals, hardcores. And then down at the bottom, you can make a comment. For instance, you can only raid after 7:30, something like that. And then people could see this stuff and be able to filter through it. Okay, guild achievements. This is another thing we wanted to do along to expand the achievement system to really support the idea of doing something really great in the game, but doing it with your friends. So the concept here, like I mentioned earlier, is that we're going to have a ratio. And the ratio is basically going to be, we're shooting for about 75%, like I said. So in a 25-person raid, as long as you have 20 players there from your raid, you would then earn those achievements. We're planning to do new achievements for this system, as well as go back and take some achievements from our existing dungeons and raids and make them into guild achievements. So if you look at, say, Oldawar, it's got over 50 achievements. You know, we'd probably go back there and maybe take 4 or 5 total achievements, and they'd usually be for, say, clearing one whole section of the dungeon. We're not going to go back and take everything like Hot Pocket and turn it into like a guild achievement. So here's a couple examples of some things that we think could be cool guild achievements. Become a Grand Master in all professions. So this would mean your guild, you would want to have exactly what it says. So one person that's a Grand Master in everything, and doing that would give you that guild achievement. Perhaps completing a legendary item, something that typically can only happen within a guild. And these would be achievements that you get rewarded for. So here's a look at kind of a mock-up of what we could see this system looking like. So there's a new category on the left of the achievement panel for guild, and over there on the right you can see those. There's one in there, Become Exalted with all factions, United Nations, example of one. I think we actually have that achievement for single players now. Someone actually gets that too, but the idea of doing this for a guild. And then down at the bottom, you can see the concept. It would be showing like your guild logo when this pops up. And everyone in the guild would see that when your guild gets the achievement. So finishing up, a couple new features we're talking about. One big thing in the interface is to do a guild news feed. I've got a mock-up of this for you guys to see in just a minute here. But the concept is that we'd show, you know, the last maybe 2 to 3 days worth of things that have happened within the guild. And this would be right on the guild pane when you log in. We're going to do a whole new UI for the guild pane. And it would show things like boss kills. It would show things like loot that's been picked up by different members of your guild, reputation gain, profession gain. characters that have leveled up. We've got a wide variety of things that can go in this, and it would all be linkable. So, you know, if someone finally gets that legendary and you weren't there, you could log in the next day and see that someone had just gotten their Valinor, for instance. And this will be filterable. So you'll be able to turn this on and off. If maybe this is info you're not super into, you can decide to filter it out, just like the chat panel lets you filter out different things. Another big thing is access to guild members' profession info. So this is going to let you be able to, you'll be able to sort by skill level. You'll be able to open and close roll-ups that show all the different professions. And if that member's online, you'll actually be able to look right directly into their profession book and see all the recipes they could make. Guild bonus. This is the concept of basically being able to get money for the guild overall. And so this is going to be supported through the talent system. And the pitch here is that you'll be able to spend a certain amount of talent points to up a percentage of gold. And this is extra gold that would drop. So let's say, you know, you kill Yogg and he normally drops 10 gold and you have 5% extra here. He's going to drop that extra gold, and when it's looted, it will go directly to the guild bank automatically. So instead of doing something like a tax system or a TIS system where every single bit of gold that every member of the guild gets taxed, instead we thought that this would be a little bit of a cooler way to do this, so everyone just feels like they're getting rewarded for their contributions to the guild rather than being taxed. Another thing through the UI we'd like to do is to be able to invite other guilds to events, and we think this is great for pug guilds. So you might have two guilds that only have, say, maybe 15 members each, 20 members each, but they want to run 25-player raids. This way they could invite that other guild through the calendar system and be able to have invites. So here's a couple mock-ups of this stuff. Here you can see the profession panel, and you can see there's rollouts to open and close. You can see the skill level for people. All that's sortable. And then over there on the right, you can see the concept of the guild news. So you can see people earning achievements, items that have been looted, bosses that have been killed. There's a little bit of a mix around there on the UI. You can see the guild experience now, your guild currency. This are mock-ups, but this is kind of the direction we're definitely heading. All right, so that's